You want to see all of Paris's arrondissements? Come with me. This is the tourist heart of Paris. Why? Because the Louvre is here. As you can see, it's extremely touristy. It's a huge museum. It's a lot more than just that Italian lady. As a local, I'm going to be very honest with you about every neighborhood. The first arrondissement is a bit trashy, despite being recently done up. It's basically the crossroads of Paris. There's even a multi-level underground mall. Luckily, there are still parts that will nourish your soul. As a local, my favorite part of the first is Palais Royal. It's no secret, but it's still very lovely. The second arrondissement is buzzy, young, and fun. The main part of the second is pedestrian only, which means you get into the great Parisian habit of walking. One of my favorite streets here is Rue Montorgueil. It's all cafes, cobblestones, and crowds. It's by far the busiest street in the second. You get all sorts of people walking here. As your local guide, I can also point you to less hectic parts of the second. A good insider tip for this arrondissement is la Galerie Vivienne. It's calm, it's elegant, it's a great passageway to just wander along. The third and fourth together form the Marais. A hugely popular quartier, always busy, especially on Sundays. It's a mix of tourists and locals, including the Jewish and gay residents that historically gave the place its tone. The most famous area is Place des Vosges. It's too crowded for me. Especially when just a couple of streets away you can get this. This is actually my neighborhood, so I have a whole video made about it. I have so many insider tips about this place. The fifth arrondissement is the heart of the Latin Quarter, and I have a video about that too. Notre-Dame isn't technically in the fifth, but it towers over it. Actually, the best known sites in the arrondissement are the Sorbonne and the Panthéon, whose dome can be seen across the city. The character here? Pretty mixed. In the western part, closest to Notre-Dame, it's very touristy. And rather trashy in parts. But if you want to go where Parisians go, you go to the eastern part. That's where you'll find La Place de la Contrescarpe, popular with students and visitors alike. And Les Arènes de Lutèce, revived Roman arenas. A nice stop for sugary tea, the courtyard of the mosque. The stately sixth is where tourists have been going for decades. Because it still looks like postcard Paris. It keeps featuring in movies, and you can see why. There's the Jardin de Luxembourg, and of course, the Café de Flore. here if you like, but be aware that it is one of the most overpriced coffees in Paris. There are no secrets left in the six. But the part I really like are the little streets between Boulevard Saint-Germain and the river. There's also a building here close to my creative heart. This is École des Beaux-Arts. I took some drawing classes here. It's lovely. I'll just take a moment here to say that all of this is in the very center of Paris and very touristy. So I would just like to mention that be aware of pickpockets. Anywhere that's touristy, they're around, and on the metro when it's really crowded. But there is no need to be paranoid. It's just be aware and you'll be okay. This arrondissement would be a really quiet district for the rich. Except it's also home to the biggest iron tourist magnet in the world. Oh, and there's the Musée d'Orsay, of course. Forget those crowds. You want my favorites? The Musée Rodin. Or some streets not far from the tower where people actually live their lives. My tip to you for this arrondissement would be Rue Claire, which is a very lively street, and you get those Parisian views everyone's looking for. This is where the Champs-Élysées is. Honestly, we Parisians avoid it. It's overwhelmingly touristy and disappointing. But I do admit the Arc de Triomphe does make for a great photo. Still, there's something about every arrondissement we locals like. And here, it's...
Le Petit Palais in Paris. It's a beautiful building with fantastic marble halls, free art, and a lovely cafe in a beautiful garden.
And this bridge, Le Pont Alexandre III, which you'll have seen in endless perfume ads.
Je n'ai pas le flouze pour avoir 12 épouses jalouses, suédoises andalouses, que je trompe en partous pour oublier mon blues.
Moving along to the 9th.
It's an arrondissement best known for the opera, of course.
Also, les Galeries Lafayette. A lot of my Parisian friends really like the 9th, but not those landmarks.
For a lively, more interesting part of the 9th, I'd say come to the northern side to Rue des Martyrs. They've got lots of stores, all kinds of food. It's really nice and it feels a little bit more local.
The 10th. Now we're talking. You probably already know the Canal Saint-Martin. Almost the entire arrondissement is inner city funky and well worth a look. I don't recommend right near the Gare du Nord train station, although...
Not far, there is what is my favorite street. And it's a really vibrant street, full of colors, smells, people of all sorts. It's messy. I like it. It's called Rue du Faubourg Saint-Denis.
This is where you'll feel Paris's energy. There's a bit of everything for everyone. If you're anything like me, this is what you'll really like.
It's gonna be the 11th. You have different kind of restaurants. It's good. It's lively. You can find anything, and yeah. And I work there.
I like the third arrondissement. Sometimes you'd be walking down the street, you just hear jazz players playing instruments in the street. You see a lot of art galleries. There's just a lot of culture.
Alors, mon arrondissement préféré, c'est le 11e, parce que j'y suis né, et que je trouve que c'est très parisien, dans un sens où il y a une authenticité qui, au niveau des sorties le soir en particulier, est à la fois intéressante et vraie. Ce qui n'est pas le cas dans d'autres arrondissements qui peuvent être authentiques, mais sur d'autres aspects.
It's 11th because I live there and I prefer the east of Paris. I think Eastern Paris is the best because it's more. There is more parties and more bar, and we can go out more.
It would be the 11th arrondissement. Why are you saying?
Because I want to say that.
The bistros, I don't know, it's very local, it's very quaint, it's very like quiet, but stuff's happening, so it's good fun.
My favourite arrondissement is also the 11th because it's a bit quieter, more like calm and peaceful, and you can get a pint for €3.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
That's a win.
Right, so why do people prefer the 11th? Because, yeah, it's probably my favorite arrondissement too. The most famous part is Bastille, and that's fine if you don't know the arrondissement. Arsenal Port near Bastille is a cool area. The best parts, though, are to the north and east of Bastille. Rue Oberkampf is the vibey heart of it all. And the streets of it and parallel to it have hipster gems. The character here is young with swagger. Here, dress as you like. Hippie, trendy, chic, whatever, you decide. It's a place of invention.
Like a butcher who decided to have a restaurant in the back, and a caviste who decided to have a wine bar right next door. Or there's so many examples.
To me, it feels like the true Parisian life today. I should know, I'm here almost every day.
Insider tips for the 11th. So many. I can't pick a favorite. But if you want a really nice night out, come to Jean-Pierre Tabreau.
So the 12th is a district often written off as a residential zone. Neither swanky nor edgy, just comfortable middle of the road. But for people who know some of its cool backstreet areas, you'll be coming back regularly.
My very favorite part of the 12th is this buzzing place, which is Marché d'Aligre. And it's open every day except Monday.
Excellent for fresh produce and fresh lunches. To burn the calories, there's Paris's most beautiful bike path, the Coulée Verte, which takes you along an old overgrown railway line. Not even all Parisians know about this, but it's well worth taking.
Don't know how I ended up here.
The 13th was long known as Paris's Chinatown. Except the 13th is in fact wonderfully varied.
Breaks my heart a little more.
Well, the 13th is out of the general current of Paris. But parts of it, small parts of it, feel like you're in a little village. And it's quite nice. It's very charming.
It's a study in contrasts. It's probably the arrondissement changing the fastest. This is Station F, an incubator for startups, and a very cool food hall. The most recognizable site in the 13th is the Bibliothèque, France's National Library. Here, very bookish young people come to practice their dance moves. And that's not all the 13th has to offer.
For Parisians, I think some of the favorite spots of the 13th are the peniche bars along the river.
The neighbors aren't going to complain about the music because, well, there are no neighbors. Most visitors here know it for the catacombs. Above ground, it feels very residential. Because it is. Little has changed in the 14th, and its well-off locals like it that way. So there's old-school cafe restaurants like La Coupole, an art deco joint I really like. But if you're in the south of the 14th, you'll find a delightful park where only locals hang out. That's my local tip to you for this neighborhood.
If you ask many Parisians, they're going to tell you that the 15th is the most boring part of Paris. But if you're looking for accommodation options, there are lots of them here. And it has a safe air.
The vibe is low-key relaxed. It's also an easy walk to the Eiffel Tower if that's your thing. If I'm down here, I like Le Café du Commerce for lunch. Both for the setting and its food.
Little Parisian tip. The 15th is home to the bridge in the movie Inception. It's also a great place to see the tower. And if you walk along this island, you'll end up at the Statue of Liberty.
The 16th is best known as the spot to get a picture of the Eiffel Tower across the river, or as the gateway to the wonderful Bois de Boulogne.
Moving away from there, though, you'll soon see that the 16th is a wealthy residential area. And you'll probably see the Paris fashion that you saw in your old magazines. Emphasis on the old.
This is the arrondissement that time forgot. The advantage is that you still find reasonable prices in backstreet cafes away from the tourist zones. And the arrondissement is home to my favorite Paris residents. Part of the 17th has the old-world rich feel of the 16th, with a park that fits that.
Probably the most well-known landmark here is Parc Monceau. It's very nice.
It's not exactly buzzing with excitement, but has great architecture and the midlife flex you get where money substitutes for creativity. Cross the train tracks in the middle though, and you'll feel the character change. You end up in Batignolles, which locals prefer.
More lively parts of the 17th that's local is over here. It's very family oriented and also feels kind of like a village. When Parisians say that they're coming to the 17th for brunch, they mean here.
This is a family zone, fairly middle of the road, pretty comfortable.
Look, the 17th and the 16th are both really nice. They're very manicured, wealthy, clean, etc. But the only difference I see between the two of them is that in the 16th, the age range is a lot higher, whereas in the 17th, it's a lot more young parents pushing their prams around. I personally do not prefer this. I like messy. I like to go out to have fun.
I should say that Paris is a very compact city. What's great about it is just that there's so many different characters to such a small space. I mean, if I go to the center of Paris and start walking in any direction, I can be anywhere within 60 to 90 minutes on foot. And it's a great way to see the city. The hill with Sacré-Coeur on it. The world's second most famous church after Notre-Dame. And this overflow of humanity is what you have to push through to see it. Prayers for the damned. Pennies from heaven. But yeah, the view's great. It beats me though why everyone clocks together at the front when the back, there's no one.
But I gotta tell you, as Parisians, we never think of this when we think the 18th. Just go behind the church and keep going downhill.
Escaping the tourist theme park is not that easy, however.
As you go down, still touristic, but keep going. Just keep going to La Marque-Coulancourt.
Pause here if you like, for the good cafes. But I say keep going, till you reach the part of the 18th with local color. Aim for the streets around the Marais. There's another view of Paris from the 19th.
You will find the very best park of Paris here, Les Bouts-Chaumont. I've spent entire summers here. I just love it.
It's a socializing hub when the weather's warm. Outside is mostly locals only, with some beautiful secrets to discover if you know where to look. Except the canal in the 19th. Le Bassin de la Villette. The summer hangout for Parisians. There are fantastic bars here with water views. Even as you sip cocktails from a bathtub. The overall character of the 19th is young and creative. It's definitely the authentic Paris of today. This is most famous for Père Lachaise, the cemetery, resting place of Jim Morrison, Oscar Wilde and Edith Piaf. To go where the living people are though, try around Rue de Belleville, on the border with the 19th.
If I was meeting someone, I would see them at Rue de Belleville, but honestly, I would most likely end up going to the back streets. That's where all the funky stuff is happening.
There's also a lot to like. It has its own view of Paris. It's young and brimming with creative energy. The important point is to go out and explore. And that is my favorite pastime, even as a local in Paris.